Hi, everybody, and welcome to the lounge on this lovely, lovely, lovely Friday evening, heading out of September into October. Can you guys hear me okay? Please just say in the comments, hey, I hear you, Marissa. I hear you. I don't hear you. If you're from Northeast Pennsylvania, give me a thumbs up. A thumbs up. Can you guys hear me? Just be like, I hear you, Marissa, because I'm not hearing you so well in my. Okay, cool. Thank you. Good to see you guys. Wow. I'm feeling the energy tonight, and I feel like we're going to have a lot of interesting stuff go on, like more interesting than usual. I think there's going to be some interesting stuff coming up tonight. I don't know why, but I'm getting the vibe. I'm getting the vibe. So, if you missed my weekly energy forecast, that went out yesterday. Check it out on YouTube. Just go to my channel, which is Connection Beyond, obviously, Connection Beyond, and subscribe because then you'll know when we're going live every time. But I did the weekly energy forecast yesterday, and it was all over the place. It was hilarious, but there's a lot going on in the universe right now with 6 planets in retrograde. We're coming out of this energy on the 2nd of October, but don't just go balls to the wall just yet, because you got to give it a little bit to ease out. These last couple days of the Mercury retrograde are like kind of a lot of turbulence, and it likes to go out with a bang. So if you see anything getting rocky, last 2 days, next 2 days. So just remember, I told you. All right. Now, just a few housekeeping things. If you're only seeing me on YouTube, come on Facebook. That's where everybody is. So everybody going to be commenting tonight that we're bringing up on the screen. Everybody's over there. Make sure you're on both platforms. And every 15th of the month, I do a monthly video forecast for every day of the month. I talk about the energies of that month and the key dates, because timing is really important. If you're doing tons of work with your career and you want to get a promotion, or you want to launch a product, or you want to start a new relationship, that's great. I applaud your action steps that you want to take. But if you take these action steps in the wrong time, when the universe is not optimal for you to take those actions, they're kind of going to fall flat. So you kind of need to know when those windows of opportunity are. So this is also free. It goes out to my email subscribers, comes directly to your inbox. Make sure, link is in the video, for the video monthly forecast, that you sign up so you get that in your email. And don't sign up at the 16th, because then you won't get it. And also, everybody wants to know, what is my intuitive gift? Am I intuitive? Marissa, how did you get that gift? Everybody thinks I'm like some sort of like person that has things that they don't have. But I'm telling you all that you all have gifts. You all have intuitive gifts. You guys have been born with intuitive abilities, and you are all special, okay? But you need to know what your specific type of gift is. Okay, you could go to college, right? But not everybody has the same major, right? So it's kind of the same thing. You want to know if you're clairvoyant, if you're clairaudient, if you're clairsentient, and this will all be explained to you in the quiz. If you're intuitive empath, everybody has many, many different gifts, many, many subsets of gifts. But you right now, as you are sitting here, have one dominant strength that is kind of above the others. And for you to understand that, it's kind of going to shift your momentum. So when you're going out throughout your day, you're going to be able to notice those intuitive hits even more, and be able to get more validation on what you're feeling when you're meeting new people, or making decisions about relationships, or your health, or your wellness, or even making a decision what to order off a menu, because sometimes it's even hard for me. So make sure you take the quiz. And if during the show you want to let me know what you got, put it in the comments. I'll talk about your specific ability. And as usual, every guest that's on our show, we always give special promos to the people that are watching the lounge. You guys all get special treats. So if you take the quiz, you're going to get a very special deal at the end of it if you want to start learning our little mini course, 3 steps to igniting your intuitive gifts right away. And it's kind of like a 3-module mini course where you get to learn how to track your intuitive hits, so you gain more confidence that you really are gifted, okay? And that you don't need anybody else to be telling you what to do. So that's my little spiel on you need to know what your intuitive type is. Make sure you take the quiz. So tonight is a very special night. Mercury retrograde brings about Mercury retrograde time. So if you've been watching The Lounge, and let me just tell you, if you're new to The Lounge, you'll come here once, but you'll probably keep coming back again because everybody who comes to the lounge hangs out. Everybody comes back. So don't think you're just going to come here once, hang out. That's the magic of the lounge. It's the show that books itself. And people always, always return. So if you were here 2 years ago when it started, we had during the October season, we had a wonderful, wonderful musical artists who became good friends of mine, April, May, and the June Bugs. And we haven't seen them in a while. And they always are here in October and kind of activating that Halloween energy, activating the energy of the dark so that the light can emerge. So we could go within and go deep. Because you know how it is in the lounge. You go deep, go home, right? So tonight, April, May, and the June Bugs returns. And they're going to have some special activating of our fall energy music. Because if we start the lounge with that musical activation, things could get a little weird. Things get a little spooky, but things are going to get a lot of fun. And secondly, we don't have this often. We don't have another psychic, another medium on. This is kind of rare. So we have Daniella Divine, and she's coming on. And I'm kind of excited to talk to her. She's an author as well. The reason why I'm excited to talk to Daniella is she's been doing her work for 15 years. I've been doing my work for a very long time as well. And there comes a point in time when you're doing this work a very long time and things shift for you where you realize that maybe predicting other people's futures really isn't really the thing that's helping them, right? So we're going to talk about this and how our journey, because I think our journeys are very similar, into wholeness, into transformation, is going to be really important for you to understand because people are like, I'm going to talk shop with her when she comes on. She doesn't know it yet, but now she's shaking her head backstage. I know she knows what I'm talking about. We're going to talk shop and kind of the transition that I took after 25 years of doing this professionally, where I'm at now with what I believe you should be looking for when you have an intuitive session and what you should not be looking for. And I think Daniella's in the same spot. So this is going to be a really interesting show about kind of tuning into your own inner wisdom and how that's so important and not depending on outside external sources to validate what you should and should not do and think that's just a magic wand and that it's just going to happen and you have to do nothing for it because we all have free will to choose. So I just want to say hi to some people before I bring on everybody to say hello. So what's up, Randy? You are new. What's going on, brother? You have a little cowboy hat on. I can't even see your face. You're the shadow man. You're mysterious. You're like the Marlboro man in the Colorado mountains. So I'm just imagining what you look like because I can't tell. But thank you for being our mysterious guest for tonight. Michelle, good to see you. Joe, you are back. Oh my God. Matthew Magda, it's been a while. I was actually thinking about you last week, wondering how you were doing because we had a guest on our show called Magdalena. And when she wrote me emails, she called herself Magda. Was that a sign? I don't know. Eileen, good to see you. Randy's giving a thumbs up. Mysterious man here. Matthew hears me. I know he does. Michelle, good to see you. Oh, Joe loves this time of year. Awesome. Paula, how are you? Michelle, finally able to catch the live. Oh, can't wait for, I know, I can't wait for them either. It's been so long. We have an April, May, and the June Bugs fan. Yay. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Tim. Good to see you. Hi, Mary O'Neill Jerome. All right. Well, let's first, I'm going to introduce, I'm going to bring back because you guys know that we're talking about April, May, and the June Bugs to say hello. So before I bring them on, I just want to talk about them for a minute. Let's see where they are in my little thing here. 1 second. All right. So roots, baby, roots. That's what they have to say here. That's the musical mantra of April, May, and Catfish Dave, founding members of the touring Roots group, April, May, and the June Bugs. Cooking up high energy and deep vintage vibes is their specialty, blending retro swing, rockabilly, jump blues, and Americana, served up with smoke and honey vocals. Love that. Washboard percussion, homemade instruments like their kazoozaphone and cigar box guitar, as well as banjo and mandolin, and their biodiesel boogie bus proclaims it's all about the boogie. If you haven't heard about their boogie bus, yes, it's run on vegetable oil. Not kidding. They tour in this bus. It's awesome. So without further ado, Let me bring on April, May, the June bugs. Hey guys,
Hi.
how
It's so
are
great to be back.
you?
Great to see
It's
you.
so
It's
good to
great
have
to
you
see you.
back.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. You guys look amazing with your black background.
Thank you.
You guys always like every time you come on live, I'm like, it's usually you up the vibe, you up the environmental, like even though, I used to love watching you guys with like your little fireplace and the whole
Ah,
thing going on. I miss that, but it's like I'm always looking forward to like what are they gonna bring to the table next with the vibe. And you guys are always bringing the vibe. So
Thank you.
thank you.
that's awesome. So what's new? We haven't seen you guys in about a year.
Yeah.
So, what is new with you? Tell us about what's been going on and where you're at with your music and where you're at with your life and what has changed.
What has changed? Well, we were on a bit of a healing hiatus since last November. That was the last time we had a show. And I went through a healing journey with some health things that happened for me. And we're just now getting back to music. And it feels really good to get back to music. And this is our first stepping out, coming back on your show since
Really?
that time.
So, you had the CD release and now it's like you've released something else and now you're coming back and being like, "Hey, we're popping back on after our little hiatus." So, I feel like it's special. I feel like it's a special time.
It is.
Awesome. So,
Thank you.
is this the music you're going to be doing tonight that you're kind of going to be showcasing? Is this the same type of kind of going deep into the darkness sort of energy that you so greatly bring to the show, or is this something a little different, and what kind of energy should the audience be expecting to like feel when activating this shift in consciousness that we're going to be trying to do?
Well, back in 2019, we released an album called Boogie Boo. It was a full length album, and I'd always been really inspired by the mythos and the magic and the inspiration of Halloween and spooky season. So we released a whole album about that. And then the following year, I just wanted to do more. So we did it again. We had Boogie Boo 2. And then last year, we had Boogie Boo 3 and we put it all together into a collection. So now we have a double album CD set called the Boogie Boo Collection with a lyric insert and an unreleased deep cut. And so we are offering that for spooky season, and we're going to have a Boogie Boo live show on October 23rd, which will be
Yay.
at a studio in Medford for
Oh my
folks to
god,
come to.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Well, I can't wait. So what are you bringing us something new tonight or bringing us some of the old back?
We're bringing something. I don't know. I don't know if it's well old in terms of it. Sure is a Roots Baby Roots number. This is an obscure spooky tune from 1939 that we released on
Ooh.
the first Boogie Boo. Just for
Okay.
you. This song is just for you.
I'm excited. What a retrograde moment. All right. Well, I'm gonna put you guys in the big old spotlight here, and
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna mute myself. And so, what is the first song called again?
Swinging at the seance.
Awesome. Well, I'll let you guys introduce, and I will mute myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, do I da 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 what in a house upon a lock along the countryside at precisely 12 o'clock. The ghosts begin to rise, swinging at the seance, 12 ticks, swinging at the seance, hot licks with the medium in trance. How that horn began to dance. Day. Swinging at the seance, 5 men. Swinging at the seance, giant men. When the trumpet blasted out, all the ghosts began to shout. Day. that music came through so sweetly low down, yet nobody knew who was riffing around, all swinging at the seance, black coats swinging at the seance, blue notes while the trumpet cut a one-a-cup. It's jiving broke the seance up, and who do you think was riffing away?
No one else but April May.
If you think you hear things, if you think you feel things, if you think you see things, you do. Swinging at the seance, women, swinging at the seance, jive 10 when the medium's in trance, how the goats begin to dance. If you think you hear things, if you think you feel things, if you think you see things, you do.
Thank you. Wow, that was so awesome. There were a lot of great comments that came on that you can go back and watch, but everybody's really excited. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yeah, that was, I remember that tune. And it brought me back. You guys, it's so nice to hear your voice again. And it just like brings me back to how we had it every Friday and that vibe in October. So thank you so much, guys. You did an awesome job. We got a lot of claps here, a lot of people excited.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, great stuff. So I'll give you guys a little break. We're going to bring on our guests, and I'll see you guys for the second song of the evening.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Marisa.
All right. All right. Well, that was awesome. For those of you who've been here the last 2 years, you remember April, May, and the June bugs. Very exciting. Everybody's giving you guys a round of applause. Yay! Clapping. Everybody's excited. So, you guys ready for us to talk shop? You guys ready to find out what people who are psychics and mediums do when they actually transform and what they learn about that so they can bring it back to you? This is so exciting. So let me read you a little bit about our special guest tonight. Daniella Divine is passionate about helping others reconnect with their authentic self. She's an author and a psychic. This passion kicked into gear after her walk on the Camino in Spain, where she reconnected with a profound sense of wholeness. Although she has taught spiritual classes for over a decade and offered guidance for others as a psychic reader for 15 years, her journey took a turn after her life-changing experience on this walk in 2017. After this time, she began and completed her book, Journey into Wholeness, Reclaim Your Birthright, a book that answered so many of her questions about life. She has been featured in nationwide magazines like Sunday Life and has reached students through her classes in over 80 countries. She has her own radio show in Sydney called Conversations That Matter. Oh, I love Australia. I love Aussies. Just love them. Love them. I really want to go there. She offers in-person, over the phone, via Zoom, online, and in-person workshops. I can't wait to talk to Danielle. So we're just going to bring her on, give her a warm welcome here at the lounge. Hi, Daniela. How are you?
Hello. That was a wonderful welcome.
Yes. I'm so excited to talk to you. And it isn't often that I get to talk to another person in this industry who is not just doing readings anymore and who's on this journey and used to do a lot of readings. And I'm sure we've kind of been on the same journey. So I think this is the first time I'm bringing somebody on this show that's kind of in the same time frame as me and kind of going on the same journey. So I'm hoping that maybe we could talk about that a little bit.
Definitely.
That would be great. So let's talk about you first. Tell us where you were like 15 years ago when you started doing psychic readings, and what brought you to that walk. Like what life event kind of brought it. There's always a life event that brings us to our knees, like brings us to a bottom emotionally, spiritually, physically, and that takes us through the darkness into that transformation. So you were doing readings, and like what changed where you went on that walk in 2017?
Right. Oh, I thought you meant my the psychic. So the walk. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've been doing readings since I was about 18. And I'm about 36 now, I think.
So that's a long time. You're like retired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still doing readings because I still feel drawn to doing them. But I was feeling in the last few years before I went on the walk, I was feeling like there was something else.
Yes.
And I could just feel like there was another energy kicking in. And then in the 6 or 9 months before I did the walk, the number of movies about this walk that came on TV, and it was just like, you have to do this walk. In terms of a big life event, I think, since my teenage years, I felt a little lost. I felt a little lost. And so it was a number of years, like I pulled myself away from people, and I was teaching spiritual classes, but not really feeling connected with people. And I felt like there was something big missing. So, I went on this walk and I just had profound experiences, and I experienced wholeness for the first time since I was a child, which was just a beautiful experience. And after that time, I became a bit obsessed with wholeness and just like, wow, that's what I've been looking for. That's it. Like that was the answer for me. And so there wasn't one single experience. I was drawn to do a walk because I believe I was ready, and I'd done enough inner work that I was ready to really embody that energy. And I still have many, many moments of not, of lopsided this and self-worth stuff and all that. And I think now I'm able to come back and access, just the truth. And I feel like I was able to connect with that on that journey, embody that. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah. I guess, did you feel kind of fragmented before you did this journey?
I don't think I would have called it fragmented at the time, but I think in the years after that journey, the amount of wholeness that I felt, there were parts of myself that I wasn't like allowing to marry with myself, and parts of myself that I was pushing away. So I think I felt just that there was something missing in me. Like I didn't know what it was, and there was something missing. I thought there was something wrong with me, and there was so many question marks around myself and around life. And I felt like after that time, it was just easier. I don't know what happened on that walk.
Yeah.
But it was just somehow it was easier. And I'll, I think through this conversation, I'll be able to illustrate some of the things that I learned after that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just special. Anyone that wants to do the Camino walk in Spain, it's like a several 100-kilometer walk. It's incredible. It's just this beautiful spiritual walk that helps you to connect with yourself. So who knew a walk could do that? But that one is special.
That's amazing. I just have to ask you, just because, we kind of are in the same industry here. And I know when I did a lot of my inner work over the past 6 years, the way that I'm actually teaching and the way that I'm doing my sessions is completely different than what I used to do before. And so have you kind of changed in how you work when it comes to your psychic ability and what you give to people?
Yes. Yeah. I think I give myself more permission to, you said something really interesting in the introduction about like, it's not about someone getting like just wanting to fix it, like just have everything done for them.
Right.
At a certain
Right.
point, you realize, okay, no, let's empower the other person, and that's their responsibility to for their own life and to take charge of their own life. And I think what really started to come through in the readings is that message is, okay, so yes, I will bring through this guidance in the readings, and where are you at? And so it changed, and even the guides that I was working with during the readings changed because to accommodate that new energy, and it just felt more empowering for me, more empowering for them. So I love it. It's like what I was looking for.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think the universe and our country and our world has been through so much change that people who are doing this work are being called to do something greater. And it's not about, giving that magical quick fix. It's about, getting people to access their own inner wisdom, to calibrate their own compass and be confident about like what they're feeling, and not being so disconnected to themselves that they're just looking for somebody else to tell them what to do.
Absolutely.
And there's like a magic answer. And I look back, and my career started on morning drive radio. Like that's how things started for me, taking call-in predictions. You know what I mean? Back when I was in my early 20s, and people be calling with love questions or sports questions, all sorts of stuff. I was on this like hardcore Philadelphia like shock jock station. It's a whole story about how that happened. But with these like locker room guys who were like having these callers call in, and I was, in my 20s, just like, I was getting these amazing hits, like getting names, and oh yeah, this guy's coming into your life. He's got red hair. His name's Mark. He wears, brown leather shoes, and he's from Sydney, like stuff like that. And then people would call me for like individual sessions. They'd be like, oh my God, this really happened. You're right. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. This is working. But over the next year, that same client would come back and say, oh my God, we broke up. Like, why would you see this happening? And now so then they're like, well, when's the right guy coming? I'm like, okay, well, let's look into the next. Okay. So November,
tell me about it. I know that so well. Yes.
And then I think once I started doing my inner work, and I was seeing my clients just cycle, and the predictions were coming true, but they were cycling, right? And nothing was really like at their highest level. And I'm like, oh, I'm predicting their patterns and their cycles because that's the vibration they're on. So,
that's right.
So it's like they're on a hamster wheel, and I can only see what's coming up based on what they're choosing to do.
Yes.
And that's the path ahead of them. So it's like kind of like I'm the AAA agent looking at their roadmap, and I could only look into the energy lines of the action they're taking along that path, and look into the paths that they're also considering and saying, okay, this is what it looks like down this road. This is what it looks like down that road. This one looks better. And they're like, I know, Marisa, but I'm not going to do what looks better. I know I'm going to follow the road that I shouldn't be following. And I'm like, well, why? And that's the answer. Like I couldn't figure out.
Oh, I love
it. Till finally I said to the universe, I said, I was playing out those patterns too. And here I am having this amazing ability and still not being able to tune into my own, to myself, and fix these patterns. So finally I reached out to the universe, and I'm like, universe, put me through whatever you have to put me through, because I want to be able to help my clients to be able to break these cycles. And what I was realizing was that people calling me for relief of their anxiety because they just want a magical answer to feel better, I wasn't doing them service. I wasn't changing anything but like giving them relief in the moment. And then they got off the phone and went back to their patterns again and their pain. So like psychic readings, like, I could do it really well, but like, how was that really helping on their journey to wholeness and their journey to transformation? So that's kind of like, I just wanted to put that out there to you.
I love it.
To see what you thought of that.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I'm going to comment. I'm just taking it all in, because you're just very eloquently just saying exactly what I'm feeling, what I feel, and what I do, and I just love it. That's beautiful. So yeah, I am exactly the same. I feel like we're on the same journey here. So the multiple timelines the
Yeah.
probable futures, if you go down this path, like the same, absolutely. So, and in terms of wholeness, putting the responsibility and them in the driver's seat, saying, well, like this is what is going on, and if you overcome this pattern that's maybe followed you around your whole life, because yeah, I mean, a lot of people come for readings and they are repeating the same pattern. They're yet in another, for example, another relationship where they're feeling wounded, or they're feeling desperate, or they're feeling lonely, or they're feeling upset, or blaming their partner, and there are people that come, they're like, when will this get better?
Mhm.
When will this get better? And there is that part of me that wants to make it better for them and wants to just give them the
Right.
quick fix, and like, I made you happy.
Yeah.
Like there's
Right.
definitely like, so when you were saying that, I was like, oh my God, I still almost have that a little bit. And the most fulfilling thing for me, I'm going to stop waving my hands everywhere.
That's okay.
The
Go
most,
for it.
the most fulfilling thing for me is the substantial transformation that comes when someone gets a pattern that they've been in for a while, and they're able to see life and light on the other side of that. And they realize that it was in their control all along to overcome that pattern. And that's the most powerful thing. And that is what really lights up my soul, not the prediction stuff.
Yeah.
Although for a while I thought it was. So I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So if I were just to ask you, this is just me like wanting to pick your brain a little bit about, because I know how I feel about it, but I'm just interested to hear what you have to say, because I think it's so cool that somebody else is doing this work, that's had this transformation, been through the healing work, yourself. Because a lot of people who do this work like don't even realize how disconnected they are. And the more talented they are, the more disconnected they could be to their body and to coming home to themselves. Like, I know, because I was there, you know what I mean, for my own, and didn't know it.
Absolutely.
So what should people, in your opinion, be looking for to seek out an intuitive session? What should be their goal, rather than I'm anxious and I need to know that this is going to be okay, and I need somebody to co-sign the BS to make it feel okay, or somebody make me feel good, and that's what I'm going to go do? Like, what should the goal really be?
Yeah, what should the intention? I would say to leave the session feeling empowered, more in control of your life, that you leave the session with an understanding of yourself. I think that those clear goals, absolutely, like if you're it's a co-creation. Those sessions, it's not just about going and having an intuitive give you the predictions. If you're wanting that transformation, you're actually wanting your life to be better by the end of that session, it's so important to set an intention or have a goal by the end. Yes. So
Yeah.
leave feeling empowered, leave knowing yourself more, leave feeling like you've got that piece of the puzzle that you need. I mean, I go for sessions with my teacher. I have a teacher, and I actually go for sessions myself. They're soul coaching sessions, and I set an intention before every single session, because I know it's a co-creation. I know that I need to bring myself fully into that space and be present and show up and really, like, grasp the learnings, because that's where the power is. That's where the power is.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting you're talking about your soul coach, and I have them myself. So I think if people, like, that's another misconception I think people have. Oh, I'm just going to have one session, a half hour reading, and I'm going to get the answer I need. And it's like, no, if you really want that transformation, you want to have a mentor who is intuitive, but you need to have you need to have at least some short-term ongoing sessions to kind of make those changes, because you don't have that strategy, and you kind of need to see the roadmap and the lantern leading it. You can have a mindset shift for sure, but if you're repeating patterns, I think having that mentor is also important, at least for a little bit, to kind of carry you through that leap, that transition, to get you to that next level.
It's the lantern thing. I love that. It's like, that's one of my favorite like symbolisms, is we light the way for the one behind us. We light the way. And it's like we're all climbing up a mountain, and there's someone that's just a few steps ahead, and they're lighting the way for you. Yeah, they're like they may be a few steps ahead. They have some of the wisdoms that you need for that time in your life, and it makes sense. Like, we all have guides, I think, that help us to keep moving forward, and we're all helping each other. I think we can learn from everyone. And there will be people that you'll come across where you'll just feel like that resonance. You're like, there is something from that person that I need to get and absorb. And then you stick with them for a while until that's done. And then I guess then it's about knowing within yourself, okay, that relationship's done. I've gotten all I can. And then allowing yourself to move on from that person. Because that's been something that I've really had to learn. Not always. I mean, it might be a guide or a teacher for your whole life, and that might feel really right. But my learning has been with teachers in my life, okay, I'm done with them. I've outgrown that wisdom. It's time for the next.
Right. And
Yeah.
sometimes you have, I mean, there was a time when part of the work that I was doing, I must have had about 10 people around me in different areas. And then there's times I only had one. And then you're right. Like I would say, okay, I've outgrown this process and now it's time for the new person to come in. And the universe does deliver, at those times when you need it.
And yes, always when you need it, always. And if there's not someone showing up, it's maybe because you need to stay stuck in, I know, like stuckness or chaos. There's something to learn in that space, to be present within that space. And then when the time is right, then the teacher will show up. I find, and I was about to say something and then I went off it.
It's okay.
Tangent. So we'll just leave that one.
It's okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to take a music break anyway, really soon. And then we're going to bring the audience in. So if you guys have some questions for us, and I'm going to put some stuff in the private chat for you, Danielle, on our little break so we could figure out like what our best, what we're going to do with our audience coming up. Think about your questions. Think about what you guys want to know. Think about what you look for in an intuitive session. Transitions are a big thing. You should really be, I seek sessions out myself when I'm in transition and I have a couple roads that I need to follow. But think about if you want to ask us some questions, we're here and we're going to go back to April, May and the June bugs and have our second song. And then we'd love for you to interact with us in our next part. So we will be back soon with Daniella and myself, and we're bringing back April and Dave. So Daniella, take a little drink of water. We'll be right back with you. Hi guys, we're back.
Hi.
How are you?
Really enjoying the lounge tonight.
Awesome. We're really enjoying you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So you guys, I just want to point out that you guys have some cool stuff coming up. You guys are going to be doing a lot of stuff. So if you guys want to catch more of April, May, and the June bugs, first of all, you're going to go to the socials. Okay. You're on the IG, you're on the gram. You're going to go to April, May, and the June bugs, and you're going to like their profile and follow them. Next, I know people like step-by-step processes. You're going to join them and revel in the spooky season on Sunday, October 23rd. Make sure you, when this is over, you go back and you screenshot this or do it now. October 23rd, 2022, 7 p.m. at Studio 67 in Medford. So if you are in New Jersey or Pennsylvania or even New York and you're close to the Philly area, drive in and actually see them live. Really cool. You can get tickets to that show. Basically everything's April, May, and the June bugs. So like you could just add.com, go to Instagram, just everything's April, May, and the June bugs. Like you don't have to remember much. So also they're doing an exclusive deal for you Loungenites, 10% off anything in their store. They have a lot of cool merch, including the Boogie Boo collection, Halloween double album, and all the bundles. April, May, and the Junebug.com. Is there anything you guys want to say about any of these events? This sale starts Friday, September 30th through, we're already past September 30th. So you guys only have 2 more days to get the sale. So the coupon code is obviously my name, which is, I always am honored when people use me as like, some people are like, I want a song written about me. I'm like, I want a coupon code about me. So I have the Marisa 10 coupon code. It's been a dream my whole life. So this is so cool that I have my own coupon code. So is there anything you guys want to say about this special show that you've coming up?
Sure. So I'm really excited about this show. We're going to play the Boogie Boo album, which is a double CD album. And we're going to have our quartet with us, which is we'll have Topher Horner on upright bass. We have Tony Mascara on drums and percussion. And we got to do some really cool things in the studio with him that we're going to replicate at the show. It's a 2-hour show. It's in an old 1870s renovated mill, which is really cool.
Woo.
With cathedral ceilings. And I don't know if it's haunted. You'll have to tell me.
I'm sure it is.
And the coupon code also applies to the tickets. So if you're watching the show and you get tickets with Marisa 10, you'll get them at a discount. And that show, again, is Sunday, October 23rd. Oh,
Great.
and it's BYOB.
BYOB. You
Yeah.
have a coupon code with my name on it if you want to get a ticket or if you want to get merch. I mean, get both. Obviously, that's what you got to do. Are you guys still making soap too? The
Yeah,
beer
we
stuff?
actually
Okay.
have a soap in production right now that
Okay.
Catfish Dave made a pumpkin hard cider, a spiced
Oh.
pumpkin hard cider. So
Mhm.
cider, it's going to be pumpkin spice cider soap, and we're going to have that at the show.
Okay, well, I want to buy some of that, so just make sure it's in your shop so I can buy some because
Okay,
I'm interested
thank
in that.
you.
So what's
Thank you.
your next song that you want to do that you're going to do tonight?
We want to do a song from Boogie Boo 3, which is part of the collection that came out last year. And this is a song that was written by our neighbor, Jerry Thompson, who was a very good friend. He passed away a few years ago, and he shared a lot of his inspirations with us musically. He's the person who introduced us to the Scarbox guitar movement and the homemade instrument movement. And this is one of his songs that we created our own interpretation of. So
I remember this song from last time, and it is awesome, and I can't wait to hear it again.
thank
So
you.
I'm going to mute myself, and you guys go when you're ready.
Thank you. Jerry, it's for you.
1, 2, 3, 4.
They say she's enchanted 'cause she stays out all night, dancing with the goblins, dark things in the night. I tell them they're crazy 'cause I love her too. Please just don't bring goblins back home with you. She ain't hateful, she ain't hurtful, she's drawing down the moon. Here's the wind as it whispers softly, Gaia's tune. Here's the wind as it whispers softly, Gaia's tune. They say she's a witch, evil as black sin. Sure, she's got some strange friends. I don't ask them in, but she loves like heaven, and heaven loves her too. Still, I'd stay on her good side if I were you. She ain't hateful, she ain't hurtful, she's drawing down the moon. Here's the wind as it whispers softly, Gaia's tune. Here's the wind as it whispers softly, Gaia's tune. Clothes are in a pile, the moon is in her eyes. She's dancing with the goddess, enchantment so divine. She got in past midnight, see it's all she can do. 'Cause magic makes the trees green, makes the sky so blue. She ain't hateful, she ain't hurtful, she's drawing down the moon. Here's the wind as it whispers softly, Kaya's tune. Here's the wind as it whispers softly, Kaya's tune.
Oh my God, it was beautiful. Every time you play that, I feel like we're like connecting to like divine stuff. It's just amazing to know that your friend wrote this and he's on the other side, and I know that he's here listening to it. You know, it's just amazing, and it's just so heartfelt. I just love that song.
Thank you.
You guys,
They're choking me up.
well, I'll give you guys a little break, and we'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, absolutely. All right, we're back with Daniella. She's not April May. She's Daniella. How are you?
I love their music. Oh my gosh.
Isn't it amazing?
I absolutely love it. I think they're my favorite. I'm not even saying that. I'm not even just saying that. I just love it. It's so my style of music. So I might just be purchasing their album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just such an inspiring night tonight with you here and with April and Dave. Just the energy is just really great tonight. I don't even know what's going on, but I'm happy that you're all here in the same place. It feels like everybody's supposed to be. So I want to talk about a little bit how people could get in touch with you. So again, Daniella Divine. It's everybody's easy tonight on the show. You just put in their name, Daniella Divine 11 on Facebook. Same thing on the IG. And also her sessions are a little bit different, so you can screenshot this, but it's also in the description of this video. divine-works.com.au. And you are offering our lounge nights this awesome promo as well.
Yes.
And now you don't have my name as coupon code, but we don't know each other that well. So maybe someday. But $50 off all sessions if you book within 24 hours, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Including what we're about to talk about, sessions, which they'll see.
Yes.
Sessions
So what types of sessions are these? So we can let people know.
Yeah. So there are the basic psychic reading co-creation sessions. There are understanding your life lesson sessions. There's reconnection sessions, which is all about reconnecting with the experience of wholeness, getting coaching, but it's intuitive. It's always intuitive. And then I've just updated my website. There is one more there that you will find. It's a mystery.
The mystery box. That's the one I'll pick. The mystery box. So $50 off all sessions. Now, I know that some people might be confused as to like, well, how do I know if I'm not whole? Like, how do I know? Oh,
$50 Australian off. I just remembered that. So it's going to be slightly different for US.
Okay. I'm not sure the conversion rate.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably, I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the wholeness part goes, I think people might not know, like, am I ready to take this journey into wholeness? Like, how should I be feeling? What do I need to be struggling with to take this journey into wholeness? And you had mentioned just feeling a sense of being lost, a little bit down, despair, and repeating cycles. So would that wholeness, like if I were to ask you, how do you break the patterns of the past? Like we talked about our clients going through these cycles of same relationships over and over again, different people. How would wholeness relate to that? And what kind of journey would somebody need to be taken on to break that?
Well, usually if someone's even asking that question about breaking that pattern, it's because they've experienced it quite a few times. And most people, we're just repeating the same patterns over and over and over. And we can feel very trapped by them. We can feel very limited by them. We can feel imprisoned by those patterns because we're wanting something else other than what we are creating. And we can't understand why we're stuck in that pattern. So usually people are feeling a little lost and just not knowing which direction to take. there's usually always an area in life that people have reoccurring patterns. And yes, people do feel lost, they feel down, they feel depressed. And I find that even just acknowledging the pattern, that there is a pattern, and being gentle on ourselves, that yes, we're repeating a pattern, and that's okay. That's okay. We are where we are, and there is usually a reason why our soul has chosen that pattern for us to have that pattern, because there's something that our soul wants to understand about that pattern. And so if we can have a gentle approach with ourselves and not beat ourselves up and not think that we have to be somewhere else other than where we are at that point, sitting in that space gives a great opening to really then being able to integrate that lesson. So what we can do with those patterns is, well, first of all, I find, even like, say we're in a relationship and it's not a great relationship, and we've had several not great relationships, we can write out our story about those relationships, and write it out in detail, like say even like, you know, what our past partners did or how we were in that relationship. Really get the story, the pattern, write it all out in great detail, read it out to yourself or read it out to someone like 10, 20 times until you're done with the story. That's one way to complete a story, is just to almost saturate yourself with it until you're like, I'm done. I'm not going to do that anymore. It's almost like you can get to a point where it's like your free will just decides, I'm done with that now. And understanding that there is a point where that conscious choice is made. That's quite a powerful way of doing it. Oftentimes, there is an earlier trauma that has set things into motion for people. So they'd say they had a parent that abandoned them, or they saw their parents fighting a lot, and it's like in their body, it's like ingrained in their body, and they're just living that out. So doing some sort of a process where they go into meditation, they go into their body, they be present with, they can actually just through their intention go into their body and just ask themselves, okay, what do I need to feel? Allow that feeling to come out, whatever energy is there, whatever emotion is there, for the purpose of just letting it out. Because usually these feelings that we had as children that started the pattern, the reason they stay with us is because they haven't been fully experienced. We've shut down. When we had a traumatic experience, we didn't have the tools to be able to process it and integrate it at the time. And so it stayed with us. So in allowing that energy to come up through us, and just bearing witness to it, that sometimes when the energy can just integrate by itself. And I know for some people, they don't know how to sit with themselves, but I find just setting an intention to want to know and to understand with a loving, compassionate, gentle heart what's actually going on for us. What is the feeling behind all of this? What is the deeper core thing? Sometimes our awareness, it just retrieves that, and we get the missing piece as to why we are repeating those same patterns over and over and over. It just, with that intention, it seems to just pop up.
Now I'm going to take this. I'm going to challenge this a little bit.
Yes.
Take it a step further.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm interested to see what you have to say about it. So somebody comes to you for a reading, right? And I have my own thoughts about this too. And they're in that cycle, and they're like, I'm having a hard time. I'm in this cycle. I want to know what you feel about it. So you talk about what you feel with it. Then they want to know when the next person's coming that's going to solve the problem. It's kind of like, you know, do I leave this person and then do I go on to Prince Charming, or do I stay with this person, try to work it out? So it's like people come to you with this pattern. What do you actually do? What are you actually seeing? And what do you do when they're in that limbo of making that next choice to repeat the cycle? Because I know when I wrote out my own story in my 20s, even in my 30s, when I look back on these relationship patterns that I had, it almost seemed like it was like alternating between a similar pattern, and then I'd be like, go to the extreme opposite in the next one relationship. Like, oh, so I thought I changed my pattern because the next relationship was nothing like the one before, but yet I was repeating a pattern, right? So I thought I just had to pick somebody completely different, and then the pattern would go away, but that did not work. So if somebody's coming to you and they're troubled in a relationship, they're asking you to intuitively look into it. You're seeing that pattern in the past. You're seeing the trauma way in the past. And now they're asking you what's in the future. How do you handle that?
As a reader?
Yes, if
As a reader?
they're coming to you for a reading about
Yes.
this.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, how do I handle this as a reader? It's a very good question. And it really depends on the client that is before me. I really like to point out that if they do not deal with their stuff in this relationship, they will attract a similar relationship, or they will just,
Right.
like you said, repeat the same patterns.
Right.
Even if the person is different, the patterns will come up. And so sometimes I will get the sense that it is more important for them to stay and figure it out in that
That's right.
relationship. Yes.
Right.
And sometimes, because it's different for every person, the guidance is that you can do this outside of the relationship.
Mhm.
But it's not about jumping into another relationship. It's about you spend some time with yourself, but that there's too much coming up. There's too much activated and triggered to do this with inside the relationship right now. Now it's time to go be by self. It's hardly ever, if there are patterns coming up for someone that are repeating, it is hardly ever you're going to meet your next person in a
Right.
month.
But
It's
that's
like,
what they want. That's what they want.
yeah, they're looking for that. Yeah,
Yes.
they're looking, of course, because they want to
Yes.
be in a
Yes.
relationship and they don't want to, but they don't want to be in the pattern. And that sense of responsibility of like, we want to blame others for what's coming up for us. Like that is
Yeah.
so much easier than going, like, what is coming up for me? Like that's so uncomfortable. If you've got pain and loneliness and whatever it is coming up within you, or mistrust or abandonment stuff, you don't want to be with that emotion. It takes a lot to be present with that stuff. So you're going to want to project it everywhere else. And so, you know, there's benefit in people like, I think you and I, that can maybe just point them in the right direction of, hey, just look at yourself for a bit and just see if you can get something there.
See, I'm not the right person anymore for the person that's looking for me to tell them when the next guy's coming. I'm not that person. So
Yeah.
I no longer do this. I only take on clients now that are like, I'm in transition and I'm willing to work at the transformation. So I'll take, like, I just don't take the general public anymore, because I cannot deal with, I'm just not at that place where I believe it's going to help them for me to give them the type of reading they're looking for, which is not going to help in the future. Because I could do the tricks. I could do the party trick and be like, okay, I could predict the next guy. Sure, I can. You want to be wowed? Let me give you some great hits that in 3 months you're going to see that everything I said makes sense because I'm looking at this line. But that's not it. It's like, wow, this is great. Like, oh my God, how did you know that person's name? That's not helping you. They certainly don't want, nobody that's calling me in that situation, which I would say 80% of people do call me in that situation, want to hear you have to do the work. You have to be uncomfortable. They're looking to talk to me to get them out of the discomfort so that they can have some sort of magical thing happen where they're out of their pain. And that's what everybody wants, right? So it's kind of like they don't want to hear you're part of the problem. And you have to like actually look within. Like the next relationship isn't the answer. But also, if we look at the relationship that they are in, we have to look at the other partner as well. And is that partner also willing to do the work with them? Is that partner also willing to grow? Because if you have two people that are realizing, oh, we both have trauma, and one person decides to grow and they're like, hey, I'm growing. Are you coming with me? And the other person says, yes, it's going to be a bumpy ride. But at least the other person's willing to grow. And but if you're growing and the other person isn't willing to grow, that's a whole different story.
Because you've established the patterns within that relationship. And so if you're wanting to break those patterns, but your partner's like, no, we're staying as we are, and it's a threat that you're changing, then that's when it can become, super tricky. Yes, we're on the same page with all of that. I think that, you know, I've experienced this firsthand over the last few months. We've been doing a renovation on our house, and I have wanted to blame. I know this work, but I've really wanted to blame the tradespeople. Like, you didn't do that right. You didn't do it. And I don't want to look at myself. I mean, my default is to want to, project it out there, because it's so uncomfortable to own what's there. And I think that is being the question for everyone is, what do I need to own here? What is it that I need to own? As hard, as much as we might want to project it onto someone else, asking that question can be the most powerful thing we can ever do, and leave us with the freedom and the power that we're looking for. And then, you know what? I find that after we've owned what there is to own, at that point, then we somehow know whether it's right to be in that relationship or not. We have access to that knowingness. But it's like before we've stepped into ownership and responsibility, it's almost impossible to know for sure whether we should be in that relationship or not, whether it's right for our soul. So I would say like that's a great step before we, is to own number one.
Yeah, I think that's, and I think the work, if you're looking for just a basic fun tarot reading or psychic reading, there's a certain type of level of frequency that you're looking on, and you can get that type of reading and it's fun. But if you're really looking for change, you need a next level intuitive. You need to up level the type of intuitive you're going to, that is going to be doing a little bit deeper work, is going to help you in that transition. And they might be a little more expensive. They're not going to be like your $15 card reading. You know what I mean?
We don't have anything around those prices in Australia. I feel like America is so much cheaper in every single way. But yes.
Yeah. So actually, Matthew Magda, he actually said Australian 50. He calculated it for us as 3202. So that's the amount that you're getting for the promo. Thank you, Matthew.
Yep. Thank you, Matthew.
Awesome. Well,
for that.
I'm just going to go back if people want to get in touch with you, because I think that I have a lot of people on here, and I think you're right on the level of what we talk about on this show constantly, and what I talk about in all of my monthly and weekly forecasts. It's all about transformation and actually learning how to be intuitive yourself and honing your gifts so that you can learn how to calibrate your own compass. And you don't need to call somebody. Like I call my people when I'm in transition, and I'm like, okay, let's look at the different options. And it's kind of like, I look at the intuitives in my life as kind of like an advisor, like lay out everything for me so that I have more information to make my own informed decision.
Yes. Yes, because that is always, and that's something I think so important to highlight is, regardless if say if you're asking the opinion of someone or the guidance of someone, whether it's an intuitive or your brother or your wife or whoever it is, to always then bring that information into yourself and ask if that resonates. Does that resonate for me? Is that true for me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So important.
I mean, I've seen people just go from psychic to psychic to psychic to psychic because like they didn't get to hear what they wanted to hear. Just so that they would get what they wanted to hear.
Yeah. Marisa, I've just noticed that my battery is running low.
Okay.
I'm going to go plug it in. I'm going to leave
Not
you for
a problem. I will bring it back on the April, May. So you're
okay.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Hi guys. Welcome back. How are you?
This is a great lounge.
Yeah.
Really good. Did you like it? I mean, we normally don't talk shop like this, so hopefully it wasn't
I love it.
So hopefully you enjoyed it.
Very much.
Thank
you.
It's
so insightful. It's really deep stuff.
I know. It was interesting having somebody else on that is kind of on that journey that I'm going on and what I want to bring to my clients. So thanks for the feedback. I appreciate that.
Very cool.
So what are you doing next for your last song?
The next song we're going to do is one that we released last season on Boogie Boo 3, and this is a homegrown one. I remember Catfish Dave sitting on the porch on Halloween, and this riff came through, and I captured it on my phone, and then we wrote the song about it, and it's inspired by some of the things I love so much about this season. I feel like it's really an invigorating, healing time in October.
Awesome. Well, I will mute myself and you guys can go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Hear the rustling crisp breeze, nature's splendor in crimson reds, the lure of magic lies ahead. The fun, the treats, and delights and frights, witches know what comes tonight. It is the night, the veil wanes thin. As we look out, they're looking in. Do not fear what you may see. Do not fear what you may hear. Hallow's Eve is drawing near. What say they to you, my dear? Do you feel the sour moon rising high right next to you? An owl cries out as she takes flight through violet skies and stars so bright. On this night of in-between, the witches see the gifts unseen. Magic power, second sight, on All Hallows Eve tonight.
Thank you guys. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Love you guys. I'm not going to be okay with, it's like I can't have one chip. Like, you know what I mean? Like just having you guys on like one time is not going to do it for me.
We'll have to work that out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. It's just like you're part, everybody loves you. And it's just like, it's not, you know, look, everybody's like, hey, yeah. April, May. All right. So let's go over this again and talk about where everybody's going to be and what's going on. Let me bring up your banners here. So remember, April, May, and the June bugs. You can find them on all socials. It's all the same, April, May, and the June bugs. But if you are in the Philly area or if you're traveling to the Philadelphia, New Jersey, South Jersey area, go and see them on October 23rd, 7 p.m., Studio 67 in Medford. And limited tickets available, aprilmayandthejunebug.com. And if you want to use my awesome coupon code, you get 10% off before the 2nd. So you can actually go and get their merch and get 10% off. You can go and their show and get 10% off, but only until October 2nd. Okay, so the deal is anything in their store, including the Boogie Boo collection, Halloween double album bundles, and the show. And I'm your key to the discount because I have the code and it has my name on it, but it's only for 2 more days. So don't miss out. Thank you guys for coming back on.
June bugs.
Thanks for having us, Marissa.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
It's so good to be with you again.
And Daniella, You're here. Oh, we got to get this banner off of Dave's head. Hold on a second. Daniella, yes. So let's thank you so much for coming on. I could have talked to you like forever. Author and psychic.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Hope you had a great time.
I love the music. It was lovely. It was lovely chatting with you as well.
Awesome.
Well, thank you. It was lovely chatting with you.
Yes.
Yeah, and you.
So Facebook, Daniella Divine 11. Instagram, Daniella_Divine. Screenshots. Join our sessions again. This is in the description of this video. divine-works.com.au and 3202 off all sessions in the US, $50 in Australia. Coupon code LOVE. And you only have till tomorrow night this time if you would like to get that discount. And of course, I have to promote myself, right? I mean, that's only fair. So the quiz, basically, it's free. You want to find out what type of intuitive superpower you are. What's your intuitive gift? Everybody always wants to know. And newsflash, it's not just that you are psychic or you're not. You've many types of abilities. What is your strength? And I give a super, super, super discount. I believe it's like $60 off. And there's a time window because we want the action takers who wants to do this work. And if you take the quiz and you want to get $60 off our 3-module mini course, which teaches you how to get your first set of intuitive quick wins immediately with my 3-step system. And with your newfound strength, go on there, get that. You're only going to get it for 20 minutes and then it goes back up to like $100. So you want to get it for like $37, take the quiz and take advantage of the offer. It's only for people that watch The Lounge. Thank you so, so much. And we will see you guys next week. Oh, and if you want a little more content, I just did the weekly energy forecast. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you want to scroll down, you'll see what's coming up for you this week. And our monthly forecast is next week. So we will be seeing you guys soon and on The Lounge next week. Thank you guys so much. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your weekend. Let's see what everybody has to say here before we go. We got a lot of clapping. Tim saying thanks for the great music. Everybody's saying it was a great show. Thank you all so much. And we are going to be signing off. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night.